You got to hang out with people who believe in you and are going to make you better. Watch who you're hanging around with. And you can hang around with the best people in the world on YouTube, podcasts, audiobooks and everything. And they're going to share their best, work with you either for free or for a couple dollars, So you need to watch who am I listening to? People watch the news and they watch TV and, they're on Facebook and, all this nonsense. You've got to tune into voices of value. Yeah. All right. Look, you have the hardware. God gave you the hardware. Now you got to get the software.
Welcome to Mission Control. At Peralta Design, we launch brands. But for now, let's launch right into this episode.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0, and liftoff.
No, I think in my business, which is home services, home improvement, that people want to know who they're dealing with. People want to know that there's an actual person who's taking pride, right? If I put my picture, my signature, right, on my ads, what I'm saying is I'm proud of what we do. I'm standing behind what we do, and you have somebody to call and, to complain to if something goes wrong, right? And so there's a lot of brands that there's nobody, right? It's just like, home spec, services. Like, what is that?
I have
like,
no idea
knows,
who's
right?
behind it.
Right. So I put my face on it, and by the way, we use my face in Indianapolis and Columbus and Savannah and Atlanta and all these other markets.
That's a lot of pressure,
too.
man. You got to stay looking good.
Well, I you want to be consistent in your marketing, and I tell people, if you're doing it right, people are going to come up to you and they're going to say, "Oh." They're going to be disappointed. I thought you were younger. But, that's, you just got to be consistent. Right. And I would say if you're going to do that, take a lot of pictures and with different clothes and everything while you're young. So as you age, you could use some of the old pictures.
He's dropping gems right now on using your own
take notes.
Likeness as a personal brand.
Then there's always, there's always Photoshop,
True. And the filters that are out there now these filters will drive you nuts because people. I just tell people, like, please look like your profile picture as much as possible if you're trying to build a personal brand. Yeah, and you've got about 45 companies sort of under this umbrella.
Yeah, I own or partner in about 45 companies, but they're all related. It sounds like. It sounds crazy, right? But I don't own a restaurant and a dry cleaners and a ski area and
they're all complementary businesses.
Yeah, exactly. They're all like, basically, I'm a contractor in 32 states. I have home service companies, and I help other contractors succeed, and I sell them products. That's what I do. I help in a short sentence. I help contractors succeed, and I know what to tell them because I am one. So I created a Contractor Nation School of Entrepreneurship. So it's a really university level course. It teaches a contractor how to be a great leader, how to recruit, how to market in all its forms, how to sell, how to run production, how to schedule, how to service, accounting, and so much more. And I recorded it all on video. So I did it live, and it took 3.5 years. Had classes live classes every 6 weeks, 2-day classes for 3.5 years, and I put it all on video. And if you watch a 12-minute video a day, because it's an online program now, I'm only doing this once, 3.5 years, I'm done. Leverage with video, right? If you watch a 12-minute video a day, it takes 3.5 years to get through the course. Okay. But, it's almost like if you try to get through it in a year, you're not
absorbing it.
You're book smart, but you're not, you haven't had a chance to practice and actually, work with it. And, when you learn something by doing it, you learn viscerally, right? You learn emotionally. You never forget those lessons, right? By doing it and stubbing your toe or falling on your face or bursting into flames, you're going to learn, and that's what I've been doing for 40 years, is just getting out there and trying stuff. And there's a lot to be said for learning through failure, learning through adversity, and that's the way people really learn. No, you can't envision. I tell people, just do the best with what you have and what's in front of you, right? And endeavor to be your best self. Learn as much as you can. Take the next step. And your journey is like driving at night. You can see only as far as your headlights. And if you say, well, I want to go to Los Angeles, I'm in Connecticut, I can't see to Los Angeles. And it's dark, but I can drive as far as my headlights. I can drive as far as I can see at this moment. And then action illuminates the next step, right? So if I go that far, then I can see a little farther, and I can take that step, and I can see a little farther, and I can take that step. I don't profess to know a lot about branding any business, but I know, over the years, I've identified 3 important qualities to brand a home service business. Okay, so in a home service business, first of all, we got to think about the customer. If they hire us to roof their house, or they hire us to waterproof their basement, they may only do this once in their lifetime, right? So there's not repeat business. So they're not going to get to know us, right? So we got to come out of the gates, first of all, saying what we do. Our brand has to say what we do. It can't be Joe's Home Services, okay? Don't know
Too
what
big.
that is. Yeah, And people don't have the attention span for you to educate them what you do, okay? So we got to say what we do. Secondly, it has to inspire trust, okay? It can't be, it has to be professionally laid out, right? And it has to inspire trust, which is, relatively easy to do. And the third thing is the hardest thing. Has to be memorable, okay? Because the holy grail in marketing, as far as I'm concerned, is you become a household name. Everybody knows you, right? And you can, it may take someone 50 impressions for them to remember, oh, yeah, no, I know they do that, right? I heard of them, right? It may take them 100. What if it takes them 10? What if they never remember you? You're so forgettable that you could market the rest of your life and no one will know what you do, right? So if your brand,
if you do too many things, nobody's going to remember that either.
That's right.
You're not consistently repeating. You're not repeatable.
Yes. And if you get a great brand, you want it to be something your competitors can't copy, right?
If you've got an innovation that you want to bring to the world, the first step is making sure you've got a great domain name. Visit shop.spacehost.pro to grab your domain name today and begin your new venture and your new business. Shop.spacehost.pro.
But we are a contractor. So let me tell you the story of our local business. So we started in basement waterproofing. We added crawl spaces. We added basement finishing. We added foundation repair. And, one day I was commiserating, saying, man, people just think of us as a basement waterproofing company. They don't think of us as a foundation repair company. They don't think of us as a basement finishing company. They don't know we do crawl spaces. Man, if they only knew that we just do like all things basementy.
Is that exactly how it came about?
The clouds parted and the sun came down and the angels sang, and that's it. All things basementy. And then we laid it out, and with the right font in such a way and colors that it shouts all things basementy. And then we trademarked.
I feel like I have Tony the Tiger in studio, or like a famous character actually repeating.
I mean, you can hear it.
It's hearing his
all things basementy.
Every time I see the truck now, and I see one of your trucks every single day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
live down the street from
He's
your
in Seymour
facility.
too. So
Oh,
he's
yeah,
a Seymour
yeah.
resident.
I don't go a day without seeing.
I
one
mean,
of the
we
trucks.
must have 100 trucks on the road. But so now that it's its own word, right? And some people call it and say, that's stupid. Well, you remember it, don't you?
That's kind of the brilliance of it all.
That's not a word. Yeah, but you remembered it, didn't you?
It sticks in your head. Right,
But see,
exactly.
the headline, as you know, is the ad for the ad, right? And so people know us as All Things Basementy more than they know the name of our company, which is Connecticut Basement Systems. So when you read All Things Basementy or you hear it, you say, I got to know more. What the hell is that? And they read, basement waterproofing, basement finishing, foundation repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. All things basementy, right? And so they don't forget us. And we've been so consistent. The next thing I did was I put my picture and my signature in the ad because people know, hey, here's a guy.
He's standing behind
He's putting himself out there. Yeah, he must be proud of what he does. He's the guy. And no one can copy you, right? They can't copy my name, and they can't copy you. And so so that's what we put together as our brand, and we just hammer away at it for, 15 years now. And everywhere I go, people know me in the state of Connecticut.
What are you doing? TV commercials, radio?
So our big three is everything on the internet, TV, and direct mail. And we do a little bit of this and that, but that's the big three for us. But it's the brand and pounding away with the same brand. Some people change it because they're bored.
Worst thing you
don't
can
do that. Your people haven't seen it as much as you have, right? The prospects haven't seen as much as you have. Don't change your brand. Get it right. I mean, if it's not right, change it by all means. But once it's right, just keep pounding away. But it's a real creative process. As you know, that's what you do here at Peralta Design. It's worth every bit of money that you can invest into getting your brand right. Because, like I say, is it going to take 50 million impressions to be famous? Or can I get the same level of notoriety with 10 million, right? For 1/5 of the marketing budget over however many years that takes, right? With the right brand. And it's, shapes and colors and words matter, right? So that's the criteria I've identified for our industry, because I have 36 different home improvement contracting companies in 32 states, and we employ either the same brand or the same rules to all of them. When you hear something, you're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like there's people listening to this right now, right? You're listening or out there, right? So if I say something of value, you say, oh yeah, that's great. Oh, that guy makes a lot of sense. I could use that idea. You ain't going to remember that tomorrow. If I asked you, well, name 3 ideas you heard on the podcast yesterday, you'd be like, well, that was a pretty good guy. I think you might remember one thing, right? We have unlimited capacity to forget, okay? And so you need to capture that idea. Ideas are slippery things, but they make all the difference, right? So when you are listening, I have a journal open on every desk and every vehicle I have. And when I hear something of value, I write it down, because I'm going to forget. I write it down, okay? Even if I'm scribbling, I can't. On airplanes, I'm a journaling fiend, right? I have 60 journals full of notes, all in color, all different colors and everything. And when I finish the journal, I make a copy of it, because when my house burned down, I lost all my journals, right? But I had copies in the safe, and the copies were saved. It takes so much time, to capture all these ideas, right? But anyway, write the best ideas down. And when an idea goes through your mind, through your brain, through your arm, through your hands, through the pen, onto a page, you better be clear. What did I just hear? Because hearing it and saying, yeah, and writing it, the words that make sense are 2 different things, right? And it sort of cements it in. And then when you go back later and read it, which you should, man, it's just like, yeah, and it becomes part of you. Right?
Yeah, that's where for me, I was a note taker. Like when I studied in school, I would take notes, like literally, but by the process of writing the notes, I was learning.
Yes.
That was my process for studying, because it does, having that tactile aspect to it, cements it.
One thing I want to talk about is compound interest. And compound interest from a money perspective. If you're in business and you don't understand compound interest, man, you need to just take a course, okay? You need to take a lesson. I mean, it's not that hard. Watch a couple of YouTube videos. You understand compound interest. And, like our business does about, we'll do just shy of 700 million this year. I think next year we can do 780 million. We can jump $80 million in 1 year. But this is year 40. How long did it take to get from 0 to 80 million? Well, it took 30 years. You know what I mean? That's the incredible power of compound interest. Now, there's compound interest from a money perspective, but let's think of it from just a results perspective, right? So just today, I have a meeting with this team. We talk about our goals for 2024. We talk about how we're going to do it. Okay, because it's cause and effect. You can't just set KPI goals and expect it to happen. It's like, well, what are you going to do to make that happen? Okay, so we're going to do this, this, and this. Okay, then we're going to, do this, this, and this. Okay, we write down a simple plan, and they're going to go execute it, right? And I had another meeting with my head of internet marketing, and we talked about other initiative, and I engaged another group to do this other thing, and then and so I can get so much done in one day because I have all these people, and we all trust each other, we all know each other, we pick up the phone for each other, we got each other's backs. I know who's talented, where to go for the right with that question. Okay, who is best suited to help me, who has that experience. I have the resources, I have the trucks, I have the facilities, I have the software, the computers, the accounting, and I can get an incredible amount done because I didn't change horses in year 8. I didn't say, oh, look, a bird, and jump to a different business in year 14, right? It's year 40, okay? I'm still doing basically the same thing in a much bigger scale with much more dimensions to it, but it's basically the same thing, okay? So I get so good at it that you can achieve this incredible compound interest, and it's really through other people. Yeah. So don't be a jerk.
I think it's amazing that you're able to do something that hard and doing it solo. It's like one of the hardest things I did recently. Me and a couple of friends did 100,000 steps in a single day. So we ended up walking, and that ended up being about 50 miles. It was about 16 and a half hours just continuously. Couldn't stop to eat anything. Yeah.
You had a catheter too, didn't you?
No, but we were just, it would be like, is anyone on the trail? No. All right. Go ahead.
You can keep walking.
Yeah. But like, if it wasn't for the other two people I was with, I don't know if I would have been able to just push myself. Because it's funny, we talked about it afterwards. There were times where, I was like, oh man, I'm struggling, but they're ahead of me. And I'm like, all right, I got to keep up. We're going to keep going. And
well, there's a lesson right there. You got to hang out with people who believe in you and are going to make you better. Correct. If you're hanging around with people who have no vision, no goals for themselves, don't believe in you, and they don't even believe in themselves, they got, they're playing small in life. You need to get some new friends. Okay, that's just the bottom line. So watch who you're hanging around with, and you could hang around with the best people in the world on YouTube, on podcasts, on audiobooks and everything, and they're going to share their best work with you either for free or for a couple dollars. So you need to watch who am I listening to. People watch the news and they watch TV, and they're on Facebook and all this nonsense, but I don't tune into any of that. I don't even know how to turn my TV on. And if it's on, I don't know how to turn it off. There's like 3 remotes. Which one it goes, I don't know. You press this button.
Harry and I almost
and
put on a football game when we were over there.
So, you've got to tune into voices of value. Yeah. All right. Look, you have the hardware. God gave you the hardware. Now you got to get the software. And the software is, what are your beliefs, right? What
are you putting in?
Right. You'll never outperform your beliefs about yourself. Right. So your beliefs and then your skills, right? And you gotta develop them and get around people who are gonna build you up and not drag you down.
Everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of Mission Control. Until next time, this is Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands.